That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. 2A, Marcus Freeman provides some clarity into the OC situation. I say some because I believe there may be a little room for nuance in here. Edition of the Always Irish. It's always drama in Notre Dame land show. It's always something. It's always something. Thank you for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on the way you will learn it every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Get it anywhere you want it. Call-in lines. You know them by now. 312-988-15. You call it, tell Johnny all the things you heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Former captain, leading tackler, I might add, Mike Goolsby and myself. Oh, we'll be breaking this down. We'll be breaking this down for sure. Thanks to everybody who subscribed and everybody who's going to in the future want to see it air. All right. Drama. There's always drama. And I know all of college football now, especially with social media, is drama-driven. Drama drives the clicks. I totally understand all that. Look what I do every day. I get that more than most people do. But man, it just feels like Notre Dame has extra. And it just seems always to be extra intense, doesn't it? So Marcus Freeman spoke today about the bowl game, about Hartman. His plan is for him to play in the bowl game. That's a whole different discussion. And then he spoke about the OC situation too. So let's break this down in a little bit of an order so everybody's on the same page. By now, most of you are aware, especially if you're on Twitter, of the report that came out, I believe yesterday, of an Arkansas beat guy saying that Notre Dame was on the list of teams after the services of UNLV's young OC, along with Arkansas and a list of other schools. This led Notre Dame Twitter to wonder if an OC change was indeed in play for Notre Dame. But at the same time, it makes you ask, and I asked on the morning show Monday morning, if this really is the deal, you're telling me no Notre Dame beat guy had this scoop at all? None of them broke it in a random Arkansas beat guy has this story? I found that hard to believe. So that was curious that no Notre Dame people were on that, and it was just coming from somebody who has no ties at all to Notre Dame, no dog in the fight for or against Notre Dame at all, not even for their job. So that was curious, and we asked questions about what that could mean. So then today, Marcus gets asked about that tweet. He said he doesn't even know who these people are. He said he didn't even know the name they brought. He didn't even know who it is. And he also said, quote, he'd love for every assistant to be back in 2024, adding that, quote, consistency is important. You got to forgive me that I find there's some irony in that. There's some irony in that regarding consistency. That is important. We all agree. That's the number one reason everybody wants you to get a new OC. Is in the pursuit of consistency. You're scoring 900 points a game on all the high school teams, and then you can't barely get a first down against any of the good defenses you faced all year. There is a clear divide. Crystal clear divide with no nuance and room for debate. Bad teams, bad defenses, 900 points a game scored. Any real team with a defensive pulse goes all the way down to 19. And it isn't just the 19. You looked completely lost getting to 19. Clear divide. So that consistency, quote, is relevant here on multiple fronts by Marcus. He did acknowledge the big game, good defensive struggles. And he said, quote, "We have to find a way to perform better when we play better defenses." I mean, I can't give the guy credit for paying attention. That's below him. Like, I'm not going to go, at least I know he knows the problem. Dude, that's below him and his job duties for me to even credit him for. Seeing the clear divide that all of us see clearly on Saturdays, depending on who the opponent is. So that's a tough one. On one hand, we want consistency with the staff. I get that, but the OC is the inconsistent part here. That's the contradiction to me. And so I don't know what to make of all that. The NDPR team, they're on a mission on Twitter to brag about the 39 points per game, second highest output next to 19-12, running people down before the forward pass, I guess, mowing them down. And they're quick to tout the defense is really good as well, which it is. They're a top 10 unit themselves. In fact, both of these units ended up ranked number 9th overall in the regular season. Points per game, number 9 by the offense. Points per game allowed, number 9 by the defense. Those tweets by the PR department are supposed to be a flex, but they end up almost becoming an insult at the exact same time. You're bragging about having 2 top 10 units in the country overall. Great. But you lost 3 games. So you have a problem somewhere that must be identified and corrected now. Are you following me? I get it. They're bragging about those numbers and having 2 top 10 units and all that, putting out promotional stuff for. I get all that. It's a flex and it's an insult. You have 2 top 10 units and you're nowhere near playoff contention. That's not okay. That is the ultimate red flag of in-game stuff not going the way it needs to go. So you could brag about having 2 top 10 units all you want. The fact that you're nowhere near playoff contention with them, that's a problem. And that's an insult, not a flex. So let's break this down. First off, is Freeman being a little ambiguous here? He seemed a little vague. I want everybody to return back to the staff. Is there any leeway? I'm just throwing this out there. Is there any leeway in that messaging for guys to return, but not in their previous role they were in this year? Maybe you're picking up what I'm putting down here. I don't know. Also, I don't know how coaching stuff works. Is there a scenario where Freeman was putting out feelers behind the scenes to see if he could find a better OC fit, but he really preferred nobody knew that was getting out because Parker's still there? And if you didn't find a better fit, you don't have to do nothing. Ramp up the 39 points a game talking point and then bring Parker back and nobody knows that you even tried to upgrade and just didn't find the right situation. And then it gets out and it gets reported and then that's awkward because Parker's still there thinking he's your dude. You have him being your dude doing bowl game prep, but you're looking for his replacement behind the scenes. I don't know. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Or if that's like proper protocol or something you would never do because it could be awkward if people find out. I don't know that. That's awkward. I'm just asking if that's a scenario in play here. But I brought it up on the Monday morning show. Don't you think it's weird that an Arkansas beat guy has this scoop and none of the Notre Dame guys got fed it behind the scenes? Or maybe the UNLV dude's agent or whoever's cooking this stuff up, you throw Notre Dame in there and it gets eyeballs. Maybe that's what it's about. Maybe it's just about the PR look of making people think Notre Dame's interested in your guy and it raises his profile. I don't know the answers to all these. I'm just kind of spitballing what's coming to my mind that might or might not be in play here. I don't know. Either way, I don't know. So here's my reaction to Marcus. I want him to succeed. Everybody knows I have an affinity for his personality, and I think he's a unique guy. And I want him to succeed. That's still true. But if we run it all back and this one blows up on you, and next year against any good defense, you're not going to score any points. Week one, Mike Elko, hi. And now he's at Texas A&M. And if you're telling me Duke has better athletes than Texas A&M, I can't believe that that's true. They may function this year as a better defense overall because they knew how to all work together in Elko's scheme and be really efficient and calculated with it. But if you double down on this and put up 7 points against Texas A&M week one, the whole house is on fire again week one. That's another thing you got to think about. You're going to face a tough defense with real athletes week one now. So if you double down on this when there was evidence that you're nowhere close to real life what it needs to be against any good team, if you double down on it, it doesn't go good. Week one, the whole thing's on fire all year. All year. You're not going to get that month of nobodies to beat up against to make people think maybe this is going to be different. No. It's week one. So if you put up a 10 spot week one against A&M, you just created a dumpster fire that's going to last all year. So that's in play right off the bat. Game freaking one. Game one. So if you double down on this when there is clear evidence you have a major philosophical and practical problem here when you play good teams, and it doesn't go well week one and then from then on out next year, I can't help you or defend you anymore, Marcus. Those are decisions you're making. I can't help you then. I still want you to succeed, and I hope it works out. But people are already asking, what are you going to say about your boy Freeman if he doubles down on that? I'm going to say, I can't help you, bro. I want you to succeed, but you got to make tough decisions and have them be the right ones. So it doesn't change that I want him to succeed and all that. It's just, if this blows up on you, I can't defend you. The first year around, I could say the Ludwig thing, this wasn't his first choice, got backed into a corner and defaulted to this. This one's an active choice. There's a big difference. And so if it blows up on you, I can't defend your help you, Marcus. It's going to hurt you and it's going to hurt me, I guess. And then if it clicks and it does work out, and you still have input from Gino that I've understand has been a lot more involved since Clemson, and the offense has been more active and done more and looked a little more robust or more normal, I guess. And if you do that and it clicks and we have better talent and they're healthier and it goes better, then great job for not giving up on a guy in a year. It's that simple. If it works out, great job not giving up on your guy and giving him a second run, and we'll all be happy about it. But if it blows up, Marcus, I can't help you, man. I can't defend it. The Golden comparison I've been seeing on Twitter is I don't get that. Like, there were people mad at Golden last year and all that, and when the defense struggled, and people are like, how come you wanted Golden gone? Some people wanted Golden gone after last year, and then look what that's turned into year two of this. So that's a reason you should want Parker to come back and get that year one to year two jump. That's a bad comparison. Horrible comparison. Number one, Golden has a proven body of work. Parker doesn't have that. Like, over time, he's got a proven body of work. Parker doesn't have that at all. Also, even when the defense was struggling last year, you could see philosophically what Golden was trying to accomplish, and you knew it just wasn't timed right, and it just wasn't quite clicking on all cylinders. But you could see what Golden was trying to do against all these good defenses. I have no idea what the offensive plan was. It was indistinguishable. There was no concept from which to even say, I could see what they're trying to set up. It's just not working. I couldn't even see what the plan was. So that's a bad comparison between those two. If you wanted to make the argument of giving Parker another year, fine, but you can't use that one. You could at least see what Al was trying to work towards. And he had a proven body of work that once he gets it there, it'll work. You have none of that, none of those assurances with Parker. Bad analogy, and I've seen it on Twitter a bunch today. Illogical. Here's my position on Parker. It's nothing personal. I want the man to succeed because I want Notre Dame to succeed. I do feel bad the way he got this promotion. Like that, only Notre Dame can make me say I feel bad that a guy got promoted. Only Notre Dame could find ourselves in these positions. But the way the guy got the job was on a negative PR spin tour. So that's already a shitty start. And that's not his fault. You got to say yes to the promotion. So it's nothing personal. But if I could see the vision and plan in these bigger games and we just couldn't execute it yet, that's one thing. I could not even tell what we were trying to accomplish in the 3 losses and the Duke game. The plans were scared, timid, weak, unimaginative, no build out of like expanding one thing builds to the next and then it builds on to something. There was none of that. No creativity, minimal confusion, nothing that would test a good defense at all. No adaptations. When whatever the original plan was, it didn't work. There was nothing to go to. That's the problem. We played right into those teams' hands and had no answers at all. At all. Philosophically, it makes no sense to me. The least creativity we ever have in the offense is when we play somebody good. It seems like we only open it up and try and do cool stuff when we're playing nobodies. To me, it should be the other way around. When you're playing a defense as good as Ohio State's, you know you might need to dial something up and try and steal one and get behind somebody somehow. Or the Louisville game, the whole world's against you. That's where you do something nifty on offense nobody's seen yet to steal one and get back in the game. Or your trick kick. Doing all this shit when the season's ruined is pointless. We played our most scared and conservative and least creative offense against all the best teams. All that does is make their life easier. And the only way you could justify a boring, straightforward 5-yard in a box style of offense, which is what it was in all those games. Boring running plays with no creativity right ahead into a gap that isn't there because there's 8 or 9 of them there. And then hope the tight end's open on 3rd down over the middle. That was the offense in all those games. You play right into the good defenses by just playing that way. It makes no philosophical sense. You need to have more creativity, not less, when you're playing a skilled defense. Try and actually win the game. And the play action thing is just a running joke at this point. It's sad. I can't even have fun with it. But the idea of like, we don't run enough play action and then Gino gets involved in the last 2 games have been play action out the wazoo and the numbers are great. I know, again, you're playing bad defenses, but it's like Twitter should not have to explain to the Notre Dame staff what play action does. You can't be this far behind where I need it to be. That's the issue. If it was close to where I need it to be, then I understand leaning on the 39 points a game and tightening some things up, getting a little better personnel, and we're off to the races. My main issue is in those 3 losses and Duke, you are nowhere near good enough. You are nowhere near it. Couldn't even see the highway of like what you needed to be and do. That's my concern. It wasn't even close to the line of what's acceptable. And lean. I know some people are going to lean on the 39. Do it all you want. We lost 3 games. So where the hell did it get you? Like, go ahead. If you want to lean on the 39 and feel good about it, I just don't know how you can when there's 3 losses tied to it. What did you get out of it? What did you get out of it? A lot of extra cheering when we were blowing out Navy and a lot of extra excitement when you were beating up on Wake and doing trick kicks. Like, I don't know what good having a record-breaking offense is if you're still going to lose 3 games. And normally you would be like, well, it must be the defense's fault. No, it wasn't. It absolutely was not the reason you lost those 3 games. You got a problem here. So that's my overall issue is you are nowhere close to being acceptable in any of those games. The plan was bad to start. The execution was worse. And then there was no pivot. So bad plan. Bad execution of the original plan. Nowhere to pivot. I can't help you, man. That's off the grid. That's not close. That's off the grid. And so I don't know where this leaves us. There was just a little bit of in this Freeman thing that felt a little nuancy to me, leaving room to wiggle a little bit. So I am not ready to say this is all done and everybody's back in their role. I felt like there was a little room for nuance there. Maybe that I want it to be that or something. I don't know. So I'm not sure. It was a little nebulous. So I'm not sure that it's all a done deal for sure. But as usual, nothing's normal in Notre Dame land. I always say this. Notre Dame fans can never agree on anything. Maybe if we win a championship, everybody will agree that's awesome. Other than that, I just don't think anybody's going to agree on anything. Half the people think 39 good. Don't give up on Parker. Build it out. It'll get better. And other people are saying this is amateur hour. You're nowhere near where you need to be when you face any defense with the pulse. And you need to get somebody to at least have a starting level above where we're at and then go from there. I don't know. It's nothing personal. I want Notre Dame to win. I want Freeman to win. I want Parker to win. But the clear divide here is ultra disturbing. And if you double down on Parker, a lot of this fan base is going to be upset. They're going to have an axe to grind and something to lean on. That week 1 game at Texas A&M is going to dictate all of how next year's going to go then. If we're going this path, you better score enough points to win that ball game or it's going to get really, really ugly. Week 1 is all it's going to take. You put up a 10 spot, it's going to be bad right off the jump. And Freeman can't afford that after these 2 years. And then what year 3's got to be for him to have the house on fire week 1 is risky. It's risky. So I don't know. What do you guys make of all this? Is it a done deal? Am I missing some bullet points here? Is there nuance or am I reading into that too much? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Never a dull moment.